Welcome to Kickin' with the Rickens, redefining retirement. Gerry Ricken and Heidi Ricken Provost want to help you retire with purpose and live with joy. Find more information, including how to reach the team, in today's show notes. Now, Kickin' with the Rickens, powered by Ricken Financial.
Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for downloading. Thanks for listening to Kickin' with the Rickens podcast. We are here with retirement planner Heidi Ricken Provost and licensed insurance professional Gerry Ricken. My name is Mark Owens. We invite you to get more at rickenfinancial.com. You can get all the information here in the show notes. Thanks again for subscribing. Now, let's get to the show.
And I said beside her is Gerry Ricken, but even better than that this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
In front of me. In my space, right up all in my business, and I love everything about it. So full transparency, as we say every week here on Kickin' with the Rickens.
Yep.
I'm based just north of Atlanta, obviously serving St. Louis and the surrounding community, but not today, friends.
Nope.
Y'all came to see me.
We did come
We
to see you.
in
And interestingly enough, Mark, you are wearing a Braves hat. And the
Shockingly.
the Braves are playing the Cubs tonight.
Yeah.
And we are in St. Louis, and we do not like the Cubs. So we're going to be happily cheering for the Braves tonight
for
at the game.
Braves.
So as we record this, the Braves are getting ready. The two best teams in baseball, not that I'm dropping the mic there. Two best teams in baseball facing off tonight here at Truist Park, and you will be attending the game. The question is, are you going to be wearing Braves gear, Cards gear, or are you just going to be dressed up like young professionals?
Anti-Cubs gear.
Well, being the only young professional in the room,
Whoa.
we might all be a professional, but
not
just
wrong.
saying. I don't have a dog in this fight.
Yeah.
So as I look at your Bulldog shirt,
Yeah. Yep.
probably just going to wear something basic.
I did
Yeah.
bring some Cardinals gear.
Well,
You know what? I don't own any Braves gear, but I will if we're playing the Cubs. Yeah, I'll vote for the Braves, and I'll wear something Braves.
I know somebody that might be able to get you a Braves hat.
Can I borrow a hat?
I've got one or two you can have.
Maybe one or two.
Thank you.
I've got like 500. You know what? I'll find you a hat on that one. So super excited to see y'all. I'm so honored to have you guys here with me this week. And other big news, Heidi Ricken Provost.
Oh, yeah.
Last weekend was what we celebrate those big confetti moments in life. You had a great one.
I had a wonderful confetti moment. It's not the first time this has happened, but this one's really special to me. I was asked to be a godmother again.
Yes.
So on his first birthday, we got to welcome baby Samuel Rife, into the church. And what an honor it is to be asked from very close friends of ours to be that light in their child's life and to have a presence like that in a kid's life. I don't take the honor lightly
Right.
at all whatsoever.
Right.
And I'm just so damn excited. I'm like his mother. I was sitting here like, look how cute the baby is. I love him so much. But I'm very honored to welcome another godson into my world.
So it's two now.
It's
You got two godchildren.
three godsons and one goddaughter is
Good
who I have.
gracious.
Yeah, she's very popular.
Yeah, I'm about to say, did you put a flyer up at Wawa saying, "Hey, you looking for a godparent?"
Oh, no,
Take my
but I
number.
love that, Stephen and I are Samuel's godparents, Mr. Stephen and Aunt Heidi.
Oh, that's really
So
funny.
Stephen and
Oh, yeah.
Now, as she was celebrating becoming a godparent once again, I know you had some big news last weekend as well, Gerry.
On Mother's Day, yes, I did. Heidi was out being a godmother,
Yeah.
and Barbie and Sheila were out doing one of their big walks.
Yeah.
So I went to Menards and bought a new rototiller.
Dude, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah,
I'm so proud
it's
of
a-
you.
it was
Honestly,
a
I'm really proud
great day.
you've needed that for over a decade. I can't tell you how many times we had to fix that old tiller.
Those confetti moments. I mean,
I'm telling you.
godparents and fixing the garden. I mean, it
Beautiful
doesn't
thing.
get
Just
any-
a beautiful thing.
Hey, you can meet the entire team at rickenfinancial.com, RICKEN, rickenfinancial.com, or that number 314-207-6211. Heidi, I got a question for you.
All right, what's up?
What can you do for me?
Okay. As in, you walk into my office and you ask me, hey, what do we do every day? What can I do for you?
Heidi, I am an adult getting close to retirement.
Yep.
I've made some financial mistakes in the past. I'm a little worried about income in retirement. What can you do for me?
Well, here's what I can do. And here's what we do every single day at Ricken Financial is we will build a custom complimentary plan for you that walks you to and through your entire retirement years. We don't have a crystal ball, so we don't know how long anyone's going to live. So we're going to put together a plan that can weather the storm through age 100. But the gist is, if you don't know if you're going to be okay, that's the point in time you need to come meet with us, and we're going to see if you're going to be okay. The numbers are going to show it, because the plan will include what are your income needs in retirement, what are your investment risks look like, and how can we ensure that you're matching your market risk tolerance. What about long-term care, health insurance, legacy planning, and then we tie all that up with a tax bow to ensure that you're always looking through a tax lens at your retirement situation, because at the end of the day, you don't know if you're going to be okay, or maybe you have a plan that doesn't include all of those facets. That's what we do every day to ensure that your money is going to last to and through retirement, and you're going to set yourself up for the most tax-efficient strategy possible.
How often do you find that people come to see you, Gerry, come to see you, Heidi, they sit down for that initial consultation, they're a little bit nervous, but they've got some misinformation about what it is exactly you do, because you hear some people that say, well, the reason I didn't call because I just assume you're going to try and push products on me the whole time.
That's exactly what we do not do, is push products. What we do is we provide solutions. And Heidi said it best. We look at everything with a tax lens. If you're out there and you're working with someone who's not focusing on taxes first and foremost in your retirement plan, you're working with the wrong person, in my opinion, because taxes will be the most expensive item in your entire retirement life. Yep. So why not do tax strategies or implement tax strategies, or at least evaluate tax strategies that will help lower that burden of taxation through your retirement years and put more money in your pocket and less money in the IRS's.
Yeah, but Gerry, taxes, that's an April thing. That's not a May, June, July, August thing. That's an April thing.
Taxes is a 365 or 366 if it's a leap year day. That's when we focus on it. We focus on it every day of the year. Preparation is different than planning and strategies, putting strategies in place, because you have to have the appropriate tax strategy to even know how to save in taxes, because a lot of people haven't paid taxes on their retirement funds yet. And there's a ticking time bomb waiting for them. There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
It might be a freight train if you don't plan for it.
It is a tax freight train coming straight at you. And we don't want that to happen when all of a sudden you're here at 75 years old and you have to take required minimum distributions and you're having more income and you're in a higher tax bracket then than you ever were in your working years. Right. That can happen without appropriate tax planning.
So we're talking this weekend here about what can you do? What can Ricken Financial? What can they do for me? And people may be exhausted by the tax conversation. We just filed, a month ago. We put it behind us. But you've said it before that just because we retire doesn't mean Uncle Sam, doesn't mean the IRS is going to retire with us, Heidi.
Yeah, of course. Unfortunately, there is no way to avoid taxation in your retirement years. But there are so many strategies that you can implement so you can be more efficient. It might include paying more tax up front at the beginning of your retirement years. Maybe we're going to do some form of Roth conversion, or, you're going to utilize the money that you have not paid the tax on first in your withdrawal strategy. By implementing your market risk with your tax risk and trying to figure out, okay, how much money do you need to live on? How much money do you want to live on? What are the big ins and outs that are going to come through in your retirement, and which of those buckets are you going to pull from? When you put it all together, depending upon your personalized situation, we have seen people who, when implementing tax strategy, can save hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars from not paying the IRS, but putting that back in their pocket. If you could save $1 million in retirement, wouldn't you want to have $1 million more to spend on your family, to go on vacation, to do all the things that are going to drive your purpose in retirement versus giving it to the IRS?
I'd take $1 million. I can get you some pretty good Braves gear for $1 million.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah.
But you hear people that say, and maybe it's clickbait, and maybe this is a long-form conversation we could have later on the show, but you see these commercials that say, give me a call, I'll give you a tax-free retirement. That feels, I don't want to say unethical, but it sounds impossible, a tax-free retirement.
It all depends upon your situation.
Okay.
Each plan and each individual and each family is like a fingerprint. Everyone's fingerprint is different. Everyone's strategy is different. And without taking a deep dive into understanding what your goals, objectives, what your purpose is going to be in retirement. And we have no way of knowing how to really design a plan that fits you, but everyone is different.
And for those millennials in the room, the too long didn't read version, the TLDR of this is, yes, that does sound too good to be true because there are some people out there who are just spewing misinformation. However, when you think tax-free retirement, that doesn't mean you're not going to pay the tax at some point in time. Tax-free retirement is incredibly achievable if you can forecast your taxation and get ahead of the problem early on in your retirement. It'll save you over the course of time. It's just going to require a plan.
At the beginning of the show, we were talking about confetti moments. Heidi Ricken Provost becoming a godmother yet again.
Oh, yeah.
Gerry Ricken bought a new tiller.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Baby girl just celebrated her 13th birthday.
Oh, my
amazing.
goodness. Congratulations.
Happy
and God
birthday,
bless you.
Caroline.
I've got a teenager.
Yes, you do.
Not okay with this.
No, you're not.
You can't reverse it, though.
She's too cute.
is.
She's so pretty, too.
Exhausting.
Oh, yeah.
And she's a little cheerleader, and she'll come running out of cheerleading practice. And if it's a good or a bad day. I'm kind of looking at you, Gerry, because I know you've been here with this.
Yes.
So this is my therapy session with you right now. And she'll come walking through the parking lot, and you could see on her face immediately if it was a good or a bad practice. If it's good practice, she is bouncing. She is like walking on the moon. If it's a bad practice, there are tears. As soon as that door shuts, those tears are going to start flowing. And I am trying to get used to my emotional little teenager, and it pulls on me.
You know what? Just be patient. That's all I have to say.
Also, God bless both of you because hormones are really fun from our perspective as a female.
Oh, God.
And from your perspective as a male, I'm sure they're super fun for all of us involved. But just know that Caroline loves you no matter how she acts or what she says. And all the crocodile tears in the world can always be solved with a bear hug from your dad.
That's true.
We call those marshmallow fluff.
Yes.
I'll scream, come here, I need some fluff. Give me some fluff. But to talk about hormones, there's just the three of us, me, Gretchen, and Caroline.
Yep.
I've got one going through premenopause, and I got one going through puberty.
Yeah.
So it's coming up
fun.
both. It's amazing.
So here we go. I'm going to work the Braves game
And
today.
that's why I went and picked up a second job right there. RickenFinancial.com to meet the team, or 314-207-6211. We mentioned it a couple of minutes ago, Heidi. The purpose approach. Plan with purpose, retire with joy. Define that for me.
So here's what the purpose approach is. It is your custom personalized approach to your retirement. And why is it called purpose approach? Because the very first question Gerry and I want to ask of you and learn about you is, what is your purpose going to be in retirement? After you're no longer clocking in every day, you don't have a job to come to anymore. What are you going to do on a day-to-day basis to feed your soul, to bring you joy, to fulfill you in your retirement years? Because a financial plan can do anything, but what's most important to us is that your financial retirement plan is going to allow you to live that purpose. If it includes right-sizing, downsizing, upsizing your house, or spending more time on vacation or with the grandkids, whatever it's going to include, we want to ensure that that money works towards that purpose. And then once we know what your purpose is, the purpose approach will walk you through what your income needs are going to be and what kind of strategy you can implement for each stream of income that will hit you in retirement, whether it be Social Security or pensions or annuities, any other form of income you're going to turn on yourself in retirement or, utilize us to assist you with. And then your investments. Are you matching your market risk tolerance? And if not, is there a way for you to be able to, reinvest so that you are matching your risk tolerance? And what about health insurance and long-term care planning? Because, we're all living longer, but we're not necessarily living healthier, whether it includes needing some form of Medicare supplement or an Advantage plan, or a plan of some sort for how you want to be cared for if you need long-term care and how you're going to cover that financially as well. And then we look at your estate and your legacy plan. What do you want to leave behind? Not just money-wise, but as a person too. What do you hope to impart on people? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? And when we look at all of those plans, we're going to tie it up with a tax bow to ensure that we're using a tax lens on every facet of your retirement life so that you have the purpose approach and you simply get to sit back and enjoy life knowing that you have a plan that can weather the storms that are going to be thrown your way in retirement. So if you'd like to take advantage of the Purpose Approach, we'd love to chat at 314-207-6211 to begin.
And, a lot of firms do what we do, but one thing they don't do is the taxation piece.
Yeah.
And we find that more and more often when we speak to people who come through our doors, and they're just blown away that we do speak about taxes because we know taxes. We've spent our lives in the tax world. We have a lot of experience in taxation and in tax planning and tax strategies and developing things that will help you reduce your tax burden so that you can put more money in your pocket than in the IRS's pocket. And who wouldn't want to have more money in your own pocket if it's possible? But it takes a plan, and it takes that whole holistic planning that Heidi just talked about. All the items all go together, and they all go together by taking a look at what happens tax-wise every step along the way and how we can reduce that burden of taxation in the future so that you can retire with joy.
Taxes, we talk about it every week here on Kicking with the Rickens. And a lot of people, and I don't want to say wrong, because it's not that we get it wrong. We just don't have the right information, or maybe there are just strategies that are not working for us and maybe working against us. But aside from taxes, what do you find as you give the Purpose Approach? You take a deep dive into a portfolio. What do you find that most people get wrong or need more education on? Is it legacy in healthcare? Is it risk? Is it creating income? What do you find?
I find most often it's the market risk. A lot of people believe that, okay, I retired from this job. I had it in my 401k. It's in this target fund. I'm protected. They think that. Mm-hmm. Well, no, you're not. If you're in a target fund, everything's at potential of risk of losing your principal, whether it's the stocks, the bonds, whatever is in that target fund. And, there are so many different investments available to you in the world that being pigeonholed by what you have at your 401k is probably not the best strategy for you to implement in your retirement years, because you should be invested different in retirement than you were in your working years.
Mm-hmm. And do you find the same thing? Do you find that when it comes to income, like 401k, Social Security, a pension, we don't have enough income streams? We rely too much on just, hey, I've got my Social Security. I've been giving into it my whole life. I'll be fine.
A lot of people really underestimate how much they're going to spend in retirement because they believe that, when I retire, I'll spend less. That we haven't found that. Mm-hmm. People don't want to change their lifestyle. They don't want to cut back on things. They want to enjoy the fruits of their labor for years and years and years. They built up this retirement nest egg. Now it's the most important critical time to build the right income so that you do protect that nest egg. And it takes a different skill set to come down off the mountain than climbing up the mountain. Mm-hmm. You've been climbing up the mountain your entire life and building and building and building and building and building a nest egg. What you don't want to do is when you get that in that time before retirement and after your retirement date, if something happens there and that nest egg bursts, it cracks, that can ruin your whole retirement. Yeah. So that is something that people really need to focus on.
RickenFinancial.com, RICKEN, RickenFinancial.com to get more from the team at Ricken Financial. And so we were asking some of the families you serve. We kind of did like a sample size of, the adults to and through retirement. And we found something very common theme that was also a little surprising. A lot of adults said they never have a desire to retire. I want to keep working. Now, I want to know from you, from the families you serve, to have that frame of thought, is that because they're worried about the economy, they're worried about income and retirement, or they just love what they do?
Most often than not, the people who say, I don't really think I have a desire to retire because my spouse is going to go absolutely nuts if I'm home every day because I don't have hobbies or interests or things that some people love what they do so much that they don't have something outside of their work to give them purpose.
And the other thing that some people have is a business that they birthed and they grew, and they don't want to give that up because they've seen it flourish, and it continues to flourish, and it does feed their soul.
And I don't want to turn it over to my kids.
Well, and if you turn, who would ever do that?
Yeah, right.
What an idiot to turn a business over to a kid in the future. Good Lord.
Who in their right mind would trust their grown daughter? I tell you what.
But, it is true. They're afraid that, the next generation or the random person who worked really hard in the business who wants to buy it from you, what if they run it in the ground? Well, it's either that or it is someone is so afraid of not having a full picture plan of their retirement, not knowing if they did save enough, if the Social Security is going to be there for them, if the pension plan is solvent. There are so many what ifs, and we're kind of an anxiety-driven community especially after COVID hit us, that so many people, I think, allow the fear of the unknown to dictate their desires, and they don't realize that if they just put a simple plan together, they could
Don't
love
know the
retirement.
answer.
Yeah.
The answer's out there.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be one of those guys when we talk about people say, I never want to retire. I'm going to have to do something for the rest of my life. I don't think I can ever. I love shutting it down, but it's like you go on vacation for about a week and a half. I love the beach, but even I start getting a little antsy. I'm like, all right, what's next? All right. And then on top of that, I'm tired of spending money at the beach too.
Sure. Right.
By any means, especially with a family. So that's how you have a 13-year-old? Can I tell you how expensive that is? That ain't cheap either. So we're talking about this weekend, Heidi Ricken Provost, Gerry Ricken. What can you do for me? We've talked about taxes. We've talked about income. I want to talk about long-term care and health care because I don't want to speak for you, but I think it's something that a lot of adults overlook until you need it.
Yeah. And by the time you need long-term care and you're coming to us desperate for help, it's too late to plan for it. You have to have a plan in place prior to your necessity of needing that long-term care help.
That's right. Especially if you want to have some sort of a insurance policy to cover that. By the time you need it, you can't be covered.
Right.
You have to qualify for it with your health. And if your health isn't good, nobody's going to insure
because
you.
we think we're invisible. I mean, I still have the mindset of a 20-year-old that, nothing's going to hurt me.
That's right.
I mean, I told you last week about passing a kidney stone.
Yeah.
Yes.
And where I thought that would never happen to me. I'm still having flashbacks from it.
Right.
And it still hurts just thinking about it. And sometimes you think that some of our favorite people, the icons in the industry, the people that we've been listening to and growing up watching our entire life, we hope they're always going to be healthy and be there for us. We're talking about the great Dolly Parton. Don't worry, she's still with us. She's still with us.
Oh, yes.
She's had some struggles.
Believe me, if she wasn't with us anymore, this entire show would be how much we love and miss Dolly Parton.
It'd be the first time where we talk nothing about retirement. It'd just be hey, and here's a deep cut from Dolly. Here's some more music.
Yeah.
Here she is addressing some of her health issues because she recently had to cancel her residency out in Vegas and some charity events. But listen to how bubbly she still is.
Now, the bad news is it's going to take me a little while before I'm up to stage performance level because some of the meds and treatments make me a little bit swimmy-headed. And, of course, I can't be dizzy carrying around banjos, guitars, and such on 5-inch heels. Not to mention all those heavy rhinestone outfits, the big hair, my big personality. That would make anybody swim-headed. But just think of me as like an old classic car that once restored can be better than ever.
God love her.
I love her.
That's awesome.
I love her energy, even at her age. I mean, it's just
absolutely.
amazing. She's the Energizer Bunny, and hopefully she gets through this and we see her back on stage.
We've had it on the schedule a couple of times now over the past 2 or 3 years to go sit down and have a one-on-one conversation with Dolly, but for that exact reason. Had to get pushed back, had to get postponed. So, fingers crossed we make it happen eventually, but we're all rooting for Dolly Parton, such an icon, not just in music, but in pop culture now as well. But let's talk about that here for a second here, the importance of long-term care and healthcare. So what can you do for me? Well, how can you help me create a plan so that when that happens, I'm not lost digging into my savings, digging into my retirement fund, setting up a GoFundMe to help pay for my bills?
And the first question we're going to ask when it comes to the necessity for long-term care in the future, because the statistics show 7 out of 10 of us are going to need at least one day of long-term care.
And the other 3 of us will be providing that care.
Of course.
Yes, true.
And if you're in a married couple, there's a 90% chance that one or both of you will need long-term care because of how you stay connected and you try to hang on longer for your spouse. So if you look at that, I mean, the unfortunate reality is there's no way that we're ever going to avoid this. If you haven't already helped provide care for someone in your life, you will be at some point in time, or you'll be the person that has to have care provided for you. But before you can come up with the financial plan for how you're going to handle that, the first question has to be, okay, you're one of the 7 to 10. What kind of care do you want Do you want to stay in your home as long as possible, have people come in and take care of you? Would you prefer to go into a facility that has step-down units in it, and as soon as you need more care, you can go to a different part of the facility that can take more care of you? There are so many different ways that you can be cared for, and we need to know how you'd like to be cared for so that your plan can work towards that.
We think about taxes. We talk a lot about taxes at Ricken Financial. And when you think about covering the expense of long-term care and even health care in general, would you rather do that with taxable money or tax-free money?
Tax-free money.
Absolutely.
All day long.
Yeah.
All day long. So tax strategies have a place in long-term care planning as well. Because if we can cover long-term care expenses with non-taxable income, we're going to be further down the line than anybody else.
And there really is a sweet spot. So say you're 50 years old, no health history of anything wrong, and you come in and you meet with us and you're ready for long-term care planning right now and you want to put together the plan, there may or may not be a plan available for you. But, if you're a little bit older and it's forefront, that's the point in time we're going to start the plan. If you're sitting here across the table from me and you're 95 years old and ready to go into a facility, that's really the only point in time that it is too late. Because that's a question we get asked a lot is like, when is it actually going to be too late? But at the end of the day, as long as you have a plan of some sort in place and you've had this conversation with the people who are going to help implement that plan, you're going to be in great shape. But if you don't know where to begin, you're not alone. Just give us a call at 314-207-6211 and we can help walk you through what does long-term care look like? How do you qualify for it? What are the coverage options for you? Is your money enough that you can self-insure and pay out of pocket? Do you want to do that? There are so many different ways you can cover it, but it has to begin with a conversation of what you'd even like.
Yeah, I think I've told you the story before. My father-in-law suffered from Alzheimer's and dementia, and my mother-in-law, she had a plan together. As soon as they first saw the signs that something wasn't right, they got it all taken care of. They had a long-term care attorney. They had a couple of different forms. I can't give you all the details. Anyway, point being, they had a plan. And when they had to put him into a memory care home, everything was taken care of financially so that we were able to spend his last year or so celebrating, embracing, making memories with him and not worrying about how we're going to pay the bills. And Heidi just mentioned there that, 95, that may be a little too late to put a plan together. But Gerry, is there a time or an age where it's too early to start thinking about that?
Well, I mean, if you're a 22-year-old, you just got graduated from college, I think that's too early. But
Right.
If you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, that's the time to start thinking about it, at least exploring the options and structuring your affairs so that you can put a plan together and knowing what the options are. It's never really too early to plan and understand what your options are. It may be too early to put the plan into effect, but not understand what the plan can be.
Right. That makes sense. 314-207-6211. 314-207-6211. You'd be proud of me because as I'm approaching 50, I'm still a couple of years away, trying to get more serious about my health.
Of course.
Trying to take care of myself. Now I've got a teenager. Now I want to be around for my girls as long as humanly possible.
Sure.
Went to the doctor and he said, you are a prime candidate for ADHD.
Okay.
I've never heard that before.
And it makes sense now. But see, I always thought that was something just for like kids. Like, I mean, you hear people say, I've got adult deficit. I always thought that was just something for overly hyper people.
Sure.
Until it's all pointing right back at me. I'm going, oh, well, that makes a whole lot of sense.
Maybe that's why you're the hype man at the Braves games.
Well, here in the state of Georgia, your physician, your primary care doctor, can't prescribe any medicine.
Yeah, no, they can't. Not for that.
So you have to go see a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Right.
Or a psychologist.
Psychiatrist for medication. Yeah.
Yes.
And I spent an hour in that cold, white doctor's office going through every detail of my life, from when I was in third grade to when my parents got divorced to when I was in a car accident to I literally just broke down my entire life to this doctor that I've never met before. Only after an hour of digging deep, no tears, digging deep and figuring out who am I really, she looked at me and she said, you do not have ADHD.
Oh, congratulations.
Wow.
I'm like, then what did I just do?
I don't know if everyone in
what's
this
going on?
room would have that same answer.
Okay.
And I'm like, what? Like, so of course I called my doctor and he goes, you need a second opinion. So
Oh, boy.
I'm going to go to somebody else and see if I can get prescribed for it then.
Well, did you say, hey, I have a, perimenopausal wife and a daughter going through puberty right now, then he would have been like, this tracks. You don't need to get tested for it anymore. You know?
They give me a bottle of bourbon and said, that's what you need right there.
Yeah.
But, just the importance of just putting that plan together and just getting serious about taking care of yourself. I know, look, I'm going to put your business out right now.
Yeah.
Heidi.
Go for it.
You look fantastic.
Thank you.
I know you've been working really hard to improve your health over the past couple of years. How do you feel?
I feel fantastic. And I have to tell you, it is hard work. And sometimes you don't know where to begin, so you don't begin. And that's how I found myself with the scale starting with a number 3, because I thought my problem was too big that I couldn't begin. And sometimes I liken that to the people who meet with us too. They feel like their problems are too big, whether it's the fact that they don't have the retirement plan in place, they don't know if they've saved enough, they don't know how to handle Social Security. There's so many things that hold people back. And I'm like, good Lord, if I would have just taken that leap of faith and believed in myself and gone through this journey years ahead, what could I have done? But you can't live in the past and you can't, kick yourself for the what ifs. But to see how much my life has changed by devoting time to me, believing that I am worthy of being healthy and all the hard things that I accomplish on a daily basis, I feel the same about every person we meet with. They're worthy too. And I just feel like, I don't know, now that I feel good, I didn't realize how bad I felt for so long, but I just want to run around and tell everyone like, oh my God, go be a good patient and take care of yourself and love yourself, because we only have one life. We only have one body. We got to be good to it.
Yeah. And if you don't have your health, you don't have much.
Yeah.
And as dad, and I know you're business partners, but it's father-daughter first.
Yep.
You've got to be so proud of all the hard work that Heidi has put in. And I'm not just trying to sit here and blow smoke, but really
unbelievably
both
proud.
In the office
Unbelievably
and
proud.
personally as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, even them being in town for the next couple of days, we said, well, tomorrow morning, do you want to get together and put some, ideas and thoughts on paper? And I couldn't even finish the sentence. And Heidi's like, well, I've got an hour and a half workout I got to do first. So I'm going to go get my workout on. And then after that, we'll see where we're at.
That's right.
Yeah.
Not even questioning.
No.
Skipping the workout.
That's right.
To talk business. She's like, I'm in.
Oh, heck no. I can't skip that workout. I got a mountain to climb in July.
29029?
Yep.
You excited?
Yeah, I guess you could say
She
that.
knows the pause right. Yeah,
If anyone wants to know what that is, head over to our social media. Just look up Ricken Financial, and I'll talk about a couple of the hikes I'm taking later on this year. But one of them is a huge endurance challenge that I'm ready to handle.
We're so proud of you, and we're supporting you, and we got your back the entire way too. Yeah, great idea. Go to Ricken Financial. Just give them a follow. Great information on social media. Brand new post every single day. Quick, informative post, and get you a little peek behind the scenes at Ricken Financial. Just give them a follow across social media. Right on the cusp of summertime, and we know you're very busy at Ricken Financial. But do you have any big summer plans? I know this is the time of the year you start getting weeks blocked off, asking for the PTO, taking the kids, the grandkids, family vacations. What's on the schedule for this summer?
This summer we're celebrating the 250th anniversary of our founding at the USA in the USA. And we're actually I'm going to for the first time, and don't hate me out there, St. Louis, for the first time I'm going to watch the fireworks under the arch.
Oh, that's awesome. Why'd you say don't? Oh, because you've never done it before.
I've never done it before because we've always been out at Innsbruck, and Innsbruck has a huge fireworks display out there. But we're actually going to celebrate it down at the arch and really experience Americana under the arch.
I love that. That's
I'll
awesome.
be in Nashville playing softball because I got conned into playing in an adult softball league for the first time since 4th grade. And of course, we have a tournament that weekend. But this summer, the big thing on my books is climbing a mountain in Mont Tremblant at the end of July. So
okay, yeah, you mentioned that.
We'll be up in Canada watching her do that.
Oh yeah.
Tell me more about what got you interested or bribed into 29029.
You mean voluntold into 29029?
29029?
It's my friend Thomas Sebley. He's the CEO of our back office here in Atlanta, Georgia, where we're hanging out right now. And he has gotten to know me a little bit over the course of the years and has seen me on this health journey. And he voluntold me that I will be taking on this endurance challenge that, he's done quite a few times. But here's the gist. You have 36 hours to hike the equivalent of Everest. Mm-hmm. So I'll be starting at the base of the mountain, going up to the gondola and gondoling down until I ascend up the mountain enough times to hike up an elevation of 29,029 feet in 36 hours.
Oh. I'm proud of you. Don't get me wrong. I am in awe of you doing this, but it just sounds miserable. Everything about this just sounds, I know it's both mentally and physically challenging. And people that come down from this 29029, and a lot of people that have done it, They say the mental challenge and the mental reward is almost better than anything physically.
That's
of
what I've heard
course.
from everybody.
Yeah. I did just a quick Google. Give me the easiest way to describe it. A premier endurance hiking challenge. Participants have 36 hours to climb the equivalent of Mount Everest on a ski mountain. They hike up, take a gondola down, repeating this process until they achieve the goal. It is designed to be a transformative, community-driven event.
Sounds about right to me. So
A lot
Certainly
of tears and a lot of
transformative.
cussing.
I'm also an incredibly competitive person. So if I get challenged to something, I don't back down easily. And so now I'm probably more often than not, I am just so in my head that, the what ifs of, a lot of us spend time thinking, what if?
Yeah.
But the what ifs of what if the nutrition doesn't handle, like my stomach can't handle the nutrition? What if I get dehydrated? What if I don't have the right socks on? All those things, believe it or not, I'm putting my plan together now. And we're sitting here in the month of May. I've been planning for this for a long time. And I'm talking it's literally the last weekend of July, at the very end of July. But I have a plan so that when those what ifs occur, I can pivot and use my plan.
So, folks, when you go out to Creve Coeur Park and you see those 219 steps and you see Heidi walking up and down those, just say hi to her.
Just say hi. She may not say hi back. She may stink eye you. She may just look at you and say, leave me alone. But it's all for a good...
If I'm in my weighted vest, I may not say hello because I may not know who I am. But I'll say hello if you say hi. I promise. I'm not that mean.
You mentioned plan. It's what's your mantra, your mission statement. Plan with purpose, climb with joy.
Yeah. For real, though. It's no different from your retirement. And it's funny we're talking about Everest because Mount Everest itself does have what's called the death zone. And it's the very top of Everest. And then when you turn around and you start having to descend down Everest, that's when the most deaths occur on Mount Everest. It's something that people don't actually want to sit back and think. And for all listening, I will never be climbing Mount Everest a day in my life. I don't want to see that stuff. But, it takes a different skill set at the very top and then turning around to start going down than it did when you're at the base of Mount Everest. And it's no different from retirement. And, for years, people were saying that retirement red zone is 5 years out from retirement in the first 5 years in retirement, that if something catastrophic happens, it can ruin your retirement. Well, if you've listened to our show ever, and by the way, if you haven't, go check out Kickin' with the Rickens. We have a lot of podcasts out there. Got to promote yourself every once in a while.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and if you've ever missed our radio show too, you can listen to it on our podcast as well, wherever you stream a podcast. But, if you've ever listened to our show, you've heard Gerry and I talk about the retirement death zone. And we've always believed it's 10 to 15 years out from retirement and 10 to 15 years in the beginning stages of your retirement, because if something detrimental happens then, it can wreck your entire future.
That's right. And, it does, as Heidi said, it takes a different skill set to go up the mountain than come down the mountain.
Right.
And we're talking about, you've built this pile of money, your mountain of money. And you want to, when you get near retirement, you need to start thinking about how you're going to preserve, protect, and use that money and distribute it to yourself. You're no longer in the growth phase of your life, the accumulation phase of your life. You're in a different phase of your life, and it takes a different skill set, and that's what we specialize in.
Yeah.
We just specialize in making sure that you're going to be okay financially so that you can enjoy things in retirement. So if you'd like to know how that process works, just call us at 314-207-6211 and start the conversation. It all begins with a conversation. It's a simple conversation to say, hey, I'd like to know more about the purpose approach and how you take people to and through retirement.
And again, this weekend, if you've saved at least $500,000 or more for your financial future, the Purpose Approach, that initial consultation with the team at Ricken Financial, no cost, no obligation. 314-207-6211. 29029 is a challenge. And we're proud of you for facing that challenge. I want to peel back the curtain a little bit at Ricken Financial. What is the biggest day-to-day challenge for you, Heidi, for you, Gerry, when customizing these plans to help adults get to and through retirement? What is the challenge that you personally face? Not the families you serve, but for you.
I think, as crazy as this might sound to some people, one of the biggest challenges I have is putting it into words, how some small little tweaks can make such huge differences in your financial future. And sometimes the words don't hit right. So it's, okay, how can I better present this so that I can show you the difference you can make in your own financial world? And I'm not a very succinct person, so learning how to do that succinctly has been a privilege and a challenge of mine.
Right.
And one of the challenges is just to have people focus on the reality that something can happen. A lot of people don't believe that it can happen. They don't believe that taxes can be, cut that much in their retirement lives. And we are in the show me state, so we show people, yes, they can happen. So, but it's overcoming that is a challenge for us, and just making sure that people understand what we're talking about so that they can make an informed decision.
And let's be real, the biggest challenge everyone in our industry faces are the talking heads or the morons of the internet who like to put something out there and perpetuate misinformation. So, the biggest challenge we face probably on a day-to-day basis is ensuring that our clients and our prospects are getting correct information and not misinformation from the internet.
And not falling for scams, because the scammers out there are even
they're
better.
so
Relentless.
good.
They are so good right now.
314-207-6211 are always available online at rickenfinancial.com. So good to see you both.
You too,
It's
Mark.
great to see you.
A couple of feet away from each other. We need to do this more often.
I
love
agree
it.
completely.
We're back next weekend, but before we get out of here, take us home.
Every day is a holiday.
Life is short. Laugh hard.
This has been Kicking with the Rickens, redefining retirement.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Ricken Financial LLC. Ricken Financial LLC is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Ricken Financial LLC are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Ricken Financial LLC is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Ricken Financial LLC.
Please remember that converting an employer plan account to a Roth IRA is a taxable event. Increased taxable income from the Roth IRA conversion may have several consequences. Be sure to consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding your IRA.
Tax preparation and tax advisory services are offered through Ricken Financial. These services are not offered by IPW and are not subject to investment advisor requirements. These services referenced are an outside business activity not offered through or supervised by IPW.